Hello, this is the Eye of the Swarm, and happy Christmas Eve. So I guess you can call this a Christmas special, but today we're gonna talk about possibly my favorite female villain of all time. The one, the only, possibly most famous if you play Danganronpa, Junko Enoshima. And before I go on, I just have to admit this. I never really played the Danganronpa games. Yeah, call me blasphemous, whatever. But I still would like to talk about this awesome villain. So, yeah. So this is your spoiler warning, since I'm going to talk about everything about her. Treat this like an episode of Analysis of the Colossus, which you might want to watch in the right hand corner. And like an episode of Analysis of the Colossus, let's start off with her basic design. Junko Enoshima is, well, a schoolgirl with some, I don't want to get this video demonetized, but let's just say some really impressive jugs for a possibly 17-year-old girl, though that's an estimate. Anyway, the main features of her design have to be those little pins in her hair, which are a full form of Monokuma's head, you know, since he's somewhat half. Anyway, but otherwise, yeah, she's got the basic look of a schoolgirl. You know, little shorts, boots, you get the picture. And I actually like the little bow, and more importantly, that tie. I think it looks pretty good. And there's not much really to say about Junko Enoshima's basic design, though when we get to her personality, some more disturbing features show up. Anyway, now let's move on to her concept art, where you'll see a variety in things we can possibly use in my future and yours, dear viewer. And, well, her concept art is not that different from her final design. I mean, there are some that are a bit questionable, like one where she's basically wearing nothing but a bra and panties, which kind of reminds me of a certain girl from that one show. Anyway, others kind of resemble Chiyaki with that small hairstyle. I think I like the colored version the best, though this one holding glasses I think is just as cool. And yeah, and I will try and possibly use these in the future, though I think what we got in the final design is good enough. Now let's move on to her size. And she has a pretty good, decent size range. Not weighing that much, only 45 kilograms, which is nice. And she's around 169 centimeters tall. I think that's possibly a more, this nasty reference. And as an extra, she's around 90 centimeters in terms of the chest size, so not much there. Now let's get into the real juicy stuff, what her actual name means. The word Junko itself means shield coupled with child, so shield child. Okay, and Enoshima means Island of the Bay, yeah, this name, unlike the Colossi, is not necessarily easy to figure out. Maybe some of you have better ideas. I don't know, I'm more into creatures than people, and I don't know how they are formed. But it is interesting. Now onto something I haven't really done before. Personality. And this chick has it all. One of the things that makes Junko Enoshima unique is she doesn't have a set personality, rather multiple ones because of her boredom. This one, you can say, is her calm personality. The one that's probably the most like herself, if herself really exists. This one is more of her being superior like a queen. This one is outright aggressive, and somewhat acts like Genocide Jack. This one is sickeningly cute. Makes her other appearances. This one is more intelligent and smart. And this one's just despair and sadness. And of course, a one for Monokuma, which will not appear here that much, even though that is her creation. There's even a personality that resembles Dio from that one anime. There's also this surprise one, which I find pretty cool. There's also this very, ingestive one, that's all I'm just gonna say it. And this dorky one, which I find pretty nice. And finally, this little crybaby one, which might be the cutest one, or disturbing, which one you ever find more appropriate. Hell, there's even an entirely different person, known as Orochi Oshonishi. I know I kind of messed that up, but I'm not doing that take again anyway. This character appears in one of the Danganronpa books, and basically Junko erased her memories temporarily to practice something for her killing games, which is an awesome way to talk about what she has done. Now I will explain her true reasons for being the best female villain of all time. What you see before you is known as the tragedy, the complete and utter destruction of humanity, constant war, nature taking its wrath, and overall, a world filled with despair. Junko's ultimate deeds. And she did not do this alone. She manipulated several groups, which include Class 77B, or as they're more commonly known, the Remnants of Despair. Her chief minions that she made by killing their class rep, Sad. We'll get to her in a moment. Each of them have ultimate talents that make them truly masters of despair. Though I still question why a chef would be a useful thing for a despair army. Anyway, if you wonder what happened to that poor girl, well, even Jigsaw had his limits. Shooting a bunch of giant spikes, I think that's a bit too much. But then again, it's very fitting for Junko. She also manipulated a bunch of little kids to basically do some more nasty work. They looked up to her as their big sister, and yeah, pretty sad. And those little kids took control of Junko's Monokuma army and became the Warriors of Hope. Or I should call them more appropriately, the Demon Hunters. Yeah. Even though Junko has a lot of allies, she's not afraid to kill a few, as her sister, who dressed up with her, perfectly shows. And if you do not believe me, look at this! Yeah, that's kinda messed up. However, this is not the first time she has done this. Hell, the whole class that she was in when she snuck into Hope's Peak were her friends, which is really sad, and she really did care for them. I mean, yeah, really think about that. She's so dark and twisted, she would turn on her own friends. Hell, she even turned on her own minions when she got turned into an AI. Yeah, hell, to make it even more tragic, not only did she kill her sister, her friends, some of her minions, twisted some kids, but she even killed her own boyfriend. Then again, he did take away her memories, but he only did that so she would be somewhat normal. Didn't help him in the end. She found out. She always found out. And when she did, she killed him. Pretty simple. Anyway, now that is the real reason why Junko Inoshima is my absolute favorite female villain. Not because of killing your man, though if you consider that to being one of the best, go for you. But no, mainly because she's the most competent. Out of all the villains that have lived through our days, she has done the most damage to the earth and to our heroes. And she did it with absolute ease. And I'm going to list a few other female villains from popular culture, as well as some personal examples. Yeah. Now, in terms of actual power, she's nothing to the magic users like Maleficent and Belixis Lestrange, or as aggressive and bloodthirsty as Goraz or Eliza from Skullgirls, but she is smart, and she also has some violent streaks, like when she cut out that one guy's eye with a spoon filled with curry. But I can at least say this, she's a better villain to some other girls I know. Salem. Sorry, there was something in my mouth. And sure, she has lost plenty of times, but with her first loss, she went out with a smile, and she did it voluntarily, even though it was quite a mess. But she came back bigger and stronger as an AI, and with a new plan to transfer her consciousness into many to make Junko Land, but she got killed by her little rabbit. But her influence was made even stronger by having allies like Monica Tora, the little girl shown here, and even the ultimate cosplay artist who made herself into Junko, which is very weird when you really think about it, don't you think? I mean, making yourself look like your idol to the point of personality and abilities? Yeah, very strange. All this and more makes Junko possibly one of my favorite villains of all time. And since she's female, she's automatically my best female villain of all time. And of course, since I'm somewhat basing this off of analysis of the classes, it wouldn't be complete without my own drawing of her. As well as the future. Now, let's see what I have made. Here it is, and well, I didn't do that much with it, and I mostly tried to keep it the same. Tell me what you think of it in the comments below. And I have just this picture on its own in the DeviantArt. Anyway, I've also planned on having her be a mate to the King of Terror himself. Those that are wondering how this relationship is possible, well, this picture is merely a prophecy to the future, which will be revealed in good time. So yeah, that's why I consider her my best female villain of all time. And have a happy Christmas Eve. And tomorrow, you'll have that joy of hope. I guess it's another thing that is kind of ironic. The most evil, most despair-filled woman in history was born just before Christmas. Isn't that funny? So have a So have a happy, joyful night, and have a happy birthday, Queen of Despair. And you guys know what you have to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the future. Hopefully with some stop motion of this lovely lady. Also, a quick note, it's also Mukura's birthday. Strange how this soldier is the older sister of that despair-filling monster, but I might as well mention it here. And who knows, maybe in death you can become an even stronger warrior than you already are. And that's